Peace and love, beautiful people. It's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. And a beautiful day begins with a beautiful mindset. Guess who's back, 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 back again? Yeah. Grace is back. Tell a friend. Hey, y'all. It's been a little minute. I think the last post I made on YouTube was my birthday, which was March 20th, 2024. Today is June 2nd. 2024. So it's been a couple months and a half. But I'm alive, I'm well, I'm safe, I'm healthy, and that's really all that I can ask for. Um, Obviously, I'm driving, so hopefully you can hear me over the sound of me driving. Oh, maybe I should turn this off. The air, maybe that'll help. So, anywho, for the month of May, I did a 31-day fast, and I didn't fast from food. I fasted from substances and experiences. And one of those, there were three main things that I wanted to fast from, and one of those things was social media. And why I chose that is because I feel like social media is so integrated into my everyday life, but not in a way that's healthy. And sometimes we don't realize how addicted or habitual we are when it comes to certain experiences, whether it's eating a certain snack or going to a certain place or logging on to social media to scroll. So I was like, I find myself just on here, I'm not even consciously thinking about it. My thumb just kind of goes to my phone to the app, usually Instagram or YouTube. Instagram, I haven't posted since the first week of March, but I'm more on there scrolling than I am contributing. And then on YouTube, I find myself contributing, but also getting lost in the consumer part of it. So basically, with social media, you're either a consumer or a creator. You're either creating the content or you're consuming the content. And if we're not conscious of our intention, why we're doing what we're doing, it can be easy to get lost in the sauce, basically. So I found myself logging on to social media and just kind of scrolling and being taken away by whatever is on my feed. I go through a range of emotions, from seeing something that makes me laugh to seeing something that makes me kind of feel angry, confused, sad, just from in a moment of having access to so much information at one time. So yeah, and then the time would just go by. Okay, I'm on. It's 2:23. I'm scrolling for what feels like a little while, and then I come out and it's 30 minutes later. 30 minutes. 30 minutes later. Oh my goodness. Unintentional 30 minutes. It's different to me if I'm reading a book, which is something I've gotten back in March. I haven't read a novel. I was in high school. I've read fiction for the past, few years. But just logging into that creative aspect of reading a novel, of being able to paint the picture of what you're reading in your own way. It's different than watching a movie or seeing social media or something visual, because I just feel like it helps us to keep our imagination alive. So I've been reading more books. I started a book from me not being on social media, just deciding let me go to the library. I used to love to go to the library. Me, my mom, and my sister used to take weekly trips or bi-weekly trips to the library. And so I started out, I was just getting one book. And then it's that book finished so fast, I was like, as soon as it was done, I was like, I'm ready for another book. I see how people binge watch shows, even if you just log on for one episode. And then it gets so good, you're like, I want to know what happens next. That's how it was with the books. And yeah, I'm just really grateful. So one of the reasons that I decided to fast from social media was because I feel like it was very heavily integrated into my daily life, and not in a way that was naturally healthy or balanced. or even aligned with my vision and intention of social media. I want social media to be a tool that I use rather than it using me. And usually when we fast for something, it's exactly to declare that, like, this doesn't have power over me. I choose to have power over this. You can always go back to it, whether you're on a diet or with people or boundaries or habits. The beautiful thing is you can always change your mind. You can always go back to that. But once you choose to abstain from something, when you go back to it, you're going to view it differently because you've stepped away and created space for clarity. So that's another reason why I decided to go on that 30-day or 31-day fast, was for clarity. Um, yeah. Well, well. So I'm really grateful that I decided to do that. There were two other main components that I decided to fast from as well that I just am keeping personal. And I just wanted to share this part of the fast with you all. Like, when's the last time you fasted from something? When is the last time you intentionally decided to abstain from something for a certain amount of time? Because a lot of times we feel like, oh no, I'm powerful. I could stop if I wanted to. I don't gotta do it. I don't. But have you ever tried to do without it? Have you ever intentionally decided to do without it? Not just because something happened in life and you have to do without it. Can you choose to do without it? Can you choose to not be attached to whatever experiences come and go? And non-attachment really is one of the highest forms of enlightenment because you're not binding yourself to anything. So people are like, oh, just let it go. Well, we wouldn't have to let it go if we weren't holding on to it. We wouldn't have to let it go if we weren't clinging to it from the beginning. If there was no cling, no attachment, what would there to be? What would there increase fast? And things are always going, and nothing really rests or sleeps. Like, 100 years ago, electricity wasn't as big as it is now. Well, 1924, yeah, I guess it was more, but you get what I'm saying. 100 years ago, our world was different. Things had a certain cadence. We would rise with nature and fall with nature. But now we've created a subculture where we're always plugged in. We're always connected to social media. We're always, or to our devices, to electronics, to technology, to information. We're always plugged in. And it can be easy to become consumed by that which we're consuming. Hello, somebody? Did we hear that? When we're always plugged in, when we're always plugged in, we become consumed by that which we are consuming. So it's really important for us to just be mindful, present enough in our day-to-day life to decide what we want to do, why, and how. And not just doing it because it's habit or robotics or being influenced by external circumstances. So yeah, I'm back and I'm better. I feel great. I feel refreshed. I feel grateful. I feel blessed. I feel aligned. I feel clear. I feel now and I feel here. I literally, so when I did this fast, I deleted all the social media apps from my phone. So I deleted YouTube, I deleted Instagram, I deleted TikTok. I kept Google, so like if I needed to research something or like learn about something, read something, download something in that way. And if I needed to know how to do something and it showed me a link that had a video, I would watch the video and then just get off of it. So I was able to realize how many times, especially in the beginning, my hand went for my phone to tap for something that wasn't there. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about getting on there. How did my body naturally go to do that when I wasn't consciously thinking of doing that? How many other times and how many other ways does that happen in my everyday life? Because we're only as alive as we are present. And if we're not being present in our life, are we really living? Are we really alive? Or are we just existing? Everything in nature, everything that is created, all of creation moves intentionally, purposefully, like according to a certain cadence, rhythm, flow. And as humans, I just feel like sometimes we're like, nah, we're gonna do our own thing. We're just gonna go against the flow a little bit. Let's just go against nature. And then we wonder why there's such a rise of dis-ease and illness and depression and anxiety and all the other um, experiences that we're having as a collective. So yeah, I just decided, I'm like, you know what? Let me log on and let me holla at the Live So Graceful tribe, the Live So Graceful gang. Let me share some of my love, my light, and my grace with you. And yeah, that's really it. I had a little bit of a drive, so I was like, it's perfect timing. I'm in a space, I'm out in nature, which is so beautiful and green. Let me see if I can show you. Well, it's kind of blurry, but see, look at that nature. Look at those clouds, look at that blue sky. Blue skies. Yeah. So, anywho, just wanted to share a little bit of this experience with you, share my time with you, my energy with you. And that's one thing, another thing that I realized from my fasting is I had more time, more of my own energy to claim and to do with as I please, even if that was just laying out in the hammock for hours and being in nature and breathing and reading my book, or just laying in the hammock and just being without doing anything, being present. And I just feel like a lot of the times we don't realize how little space we leave just to be in our day-to-day life. We're always doing, going, thinking, processing, planning, um, just we're like in go mode all the time. And we're not human doings, we're human beings. So it's important for us to create time and space to slow down and to be, to do less and be more, you know? Because life is only here while it's here. And it's only in the shape that it's in right now, right now. And sometimes I think we feel like things will always be the way they are now. Oh, I can do it later. Oh, I'll have another chance to say what I meant or to express myself to a person. I can do it later when it comes to looking into my health or making healthier decisions. There'll be another opportunity for me to do my best. Oh, is that so? Is that so? Or is that just what you're telling yourself to stay comfortable, to stay familiar? Because sometimes we say, oh, it's a level of comfort. Is it comfort or is it familiarity? Are you really comfortable in your current experience or are you just familiar? Let me ask that again. Are you really comfortable in your current experience or are you familiar? Is it familiarity or is it comfort? I am in a pretty good mood, so hopefully everything that I've been saying is coming through loud and clear. And who needs to hear it and receive it is able to go. I declare it is so, and so it is. And so it is. Give me a second. How do I? It's been so long, y'all. I don't even. I'm gonna remove that you in timeout for 24 hours. Goodbye. I don't even know what everyone else is saying. That just caught my eye. It was just, people are just people. People can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. And a lot of the times, if you realize how challenging it can be for you to meet yourself on a deeper level, you can extend grace for where other people are on their journey. It's not easy to go deeper. It's not comfortable to go deeper. It doesn't feel good to challenge yourself, to work against habits that have been formed and created out of patterns. That's not for the weak, okay? Woo, baby. So going deep requires courage. It requires intention. It requires a level of willingness to show up and do the work. Many are called, few are chosen. And few are chosen because only few usually show up and go through the entire process. Many people are called, but then once they find out what it actually requires of them, they're like, actually, nah. Or some people ignore the call. But what happens when you actually hear the call? The call is a call to action, a call to do something different, better, to grow, to evolve, to shed a skin, to transform. When you hear that call, how do you respond? Are you responding or are you reacting? Are you intentionally choosing to stay this current version of yourself? Or are you intentionally choosing to grow, to be better, to be different? And that's what separates the real from, I guess, the unreal. Those who about it and those who ain't. Excuse me. Those who are about it and those who aren't. Code switching. It's like being a black woman, really like multilingual, right? You have just so many different ways. We have to code switch. We have to speak in a proper vernacular. Then we can switch to Ebonics. Then it's like you got the mama. You know, if you have a black mama, she might not be your mama, but she give you certain looks, and you know what those looks mean. Like, and you be like, anywho, it's been 19 minutes already. Look at that. A nice little first video upon my return. I hope that this day is treating you well. It's Sunday fun day, so Sunday, and it is a sunny day, and I'm grateful for that. I hope that you choose to make the most out of the moments that you're presented with and not jumping ahead to the bigger moments that you fail to realize the smaller moments are really what connect the bigger moments. So if you're in a rush to get there, but you're not paying attention to what you're doing and how you're doing it, or even why you're doing it to get there, by the time you get there, you're going to realize you missed some steps, because you're going to get what you've always thought you wanted, and it's not going to hit like you thought it was going to hit, because you were waiting on that to give you what you needed to give it. Does that make sense? You were waiting on it to give you fulfillment rather than you bringing fulfillment into it. Oh, I love when spirit is able to come through and deliver a message in a way that I'm not thinking about it. It just flows, but it also hits me like, ooh, I needed that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I suppose I should get on out of here now. There's a lot of comments and stuff, but I'm driving, so I'm just gonna be safe and not look at those. But I appreciate the love. If you're here now, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy with me. I appreciate it and I reciprocate it. I realize that our most valuable asset in our life is our energy, is our time, is our attention. Those are things that money cannot buy, can never duplicate. Okay? That's why we call it pay attention, because you're really paying with your attention. Okay? Okay? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love me. And because I love me, I'm able to love you. Some people be like, I love you, but they don't love themselves. Now, how can you give me what you ain't got? Sounds nice, but realistically, you can't love me if you don't love you. You can't accept me if you haven't accepted you. You can't communicate with me if you haven't learned to communicate with you. I'm really grateful that these past few years I've really been working on self-development, developing myself in ways that allows me to reflect, in ways that allow me to grow. Just like choosing to be a communicator, not just what I say, but how I say it, why I say it, when I say it. Because sometimes it's not always, oh, I feel it now, so I need to say it now. Sometimes it's I feel it now and I want to say something, but I want to create the proper space, whether it's how I feel energetically or waiting till the environment or circumstances change. How well do you know thyself? How well do you know thyself? Because as you think, so you become. According to your faith, be it unto you. According to your beliefs, that's how it should be. That's what it's saying. So, just want to remind you that your mentality becomes your reality. Thoughts become things. As you think, so you become. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay. You are a creator. You are part of creation. And thus, your ultimate power is to create. You cannot create solutions with the same mindset that you created problems with. In order to change your reality, your experience of life, you have to change and transform your thinking. There's a verse in the Bible. No, I'm not religious. Yes, I am spiritual. And I feel like truth is truth. Gospel just means the good news. So whether it's from a religion or a cartoon, gospel is gospel. Okay. There's a verse, and it basically just saying, be ye, don't be conformed by the ways of this world, basically. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformed, be changed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing, newing again, meaning that it's something that's a cycle, it's constant. You don't ever just get to a point of I'm there and that's it. It's always a cycle. That's why we recycle, right? We recycle things. We cycle it again so that it can be used in another way, in a different way, in a better way, hopefully. So, yeah, just remember, it's all about you. It's never about the other person, the family. It's never about anything outside of you, especially when you're a sovereign adult and you're still telling yourself childhood narratives like it's somebody else's fault that you're like you are. No, it's not their fault. They might have had influence and they might have contributed to some things, but ultimately it's your choice to continue to uphold that which doesn't serve you or align you with what's best. And sometimes the truth is hard. Like sometimes the truth hurts, but that's only because it's true. If it wasn't true, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't matter as much, I'll say. Truth speakers, that's not an easy space to be in. Because you say the things that people don't want to hear but need to hear. And what I've learned is to say it in a way that it can be received. It doesn't have to be brutally honest, because honesty is sometimes brutal within itself. It's hard enough. So if I can offer a gentle truth, a loving truth, then I feel like I've done some good. But yeah, that's really, really, really it, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here and listen to some music, close the sunroof because it's getting a little warm. Oh, I didn't even have it open. That's nice. Yeah, I can't read. Tune in. If you haven't already done so, go ahead, subscribe, join the Live So Graceful tribe, the Live So Graceful gang. Uh, Go watch some of my other videos, like them, comment, share, etc. Check me out on all the other platforms. Instagram, I'll be coming back to, I guess, today as well. Coming out of my shell, out of hibernation. Let's see, where else? Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for ya. Until next time, peace, love, holla.